Hello and welcome to this special episode of Storied San Francisco. I'm your host, Jeff Hunt. In this podcast, we check in with Muttville founder and CEO Sherri Franklin. We had Sherri on the podcast back in season 2, so if you haven't already, please go back and check that out. Here, you'll hear how Muttville has adjusted its operation during the COVID-19 shutdown. You'll also learn from Sherri about how they're taking their annual gala online this year. Exciting stuff. This special episode is part of our Small Business September series. Here's Sherri. What's different about Muttville in these times of shelter in place?
So what's different about Muttville? Like everything is different right now than what we were doing on March 1st and now almost September 1st. First off, on the day they had the shelter in place take place, we had to place all of our dogs, 91 dogs at the time, all in foster homes because we wanted to shut down our major shelter facility so that we could then regroup and figure out how we were going to manage. So in 72 hours, we had 91 dogs in foster homes. Literally every dog that was at the shelter had been moved to a foster home. And then we took about 4 or 5 days and just sort of shut down and had a lot of meetings. I learned how to use Zoom real fast, right? Because that's what we all did. We all learned how to do Zoom.
Right.
So we decided we were going to start up virtual adoptions. We didn't skip a beat. We started working on how to place dogs in homes without actually having to spread germs and do it very safely. We were getting so much interest in so many applications and so many friends and people that didn't know us, and everybody wanted a dog. And it was a little bit of a silver lining in this whole catastrophic moment.
Would you say that you saw that right away, or?
I felt like it happened overnight. My phone, like my text messages, I had like 40 in 48 hours from friends of friends that wanted to set up their friend with a dog or foster a dog. And that was just the people I happened to know. Right. Everybody realized, hey, I'm home. I've always wanted to have a dog in my life. I can do that now. And a lot of those foster homes became adopters through the course of this. We had 3 diabetic dogs, and we had a handful of blind dogs and dogs that had been waiting for homes for over a month. And those dogs all got adopted. It was just and beautifully adopted into great homes that were willing to put in that extra work and that extra time. We tried to not mire ourselves in a lot of like all the crazy stuff. We wanted to we knew we were needed, like by the public as well as by the shelters, but like senior adopters, people that literally are so lonely and now they can't even leave their house. I mean, they all wanted dogs. So really it was about stepping up and figuring out how to make that happen. And I have to say, for the first 2 to 3 weeks, it seemed like our protocols got better and better and better. Everything from, always wearing a mask to, giving somebody a plastic bag that they could open with their new leash in it so that everything was sterilized and we didn't have to really hand over a used leash, right, but really hand over a totally clean one that's been plastic bagged for you, and doing all the paperwork virtually rather than having people sign things in person. We did a lot of that stuff virtually so that we could just make the handoff of new dogs really easy. And since the lockdown or the shelter in place, we have rescued and found homes for almost 400 dogs now.
Wow. Is that how does that compare with the normal roughly 6 month
It's
period?
as good as, if
Oh,
not better. Um, the steps that we have to take now are a little bit more onerous. We can't just have an open house where 20 people come and everybody gets to adopt a dog. It's like one-on-one, which is great in a way because we really spend a lot of time on concierge. We like doing concierge matchmaking with the dogs and the applicants. So you really get a lot more one-on-one, though it takes just a little bit longer, or a couple more steps that we have to take in order to make those matches happen.
right.
So
Understandably.
yes, and the fact that we've been able to keep up with the need that is out there, and the shelters, even during the fires, we've been able to help bring some of those dogs that were in the fire zones to Muttville so that they can make room for some of the fire refugee dogs.
That's what I was gonna ask, both with the fires, but also the months, I guess March until the fires started. Were you seeing a difference in the number of dogs going to shelters? Because a lot of,
Yeah.
with the coronavirus came all the economic fallout, and I don't think we don't even really have an idea yet of how many people have been displaced because of economics. What have you guys seen as far as dogs?
I feel like for the first couple months, when we started the shelter in place, there were less dogs, less shelters asking us to help. And in the past 6 weeks, we've seen that really start to rise. The amount of dogs being turned into shelters due to hardship or housing. A lot of people now, what I've seen is a lot of people actually have had to move in with their parents, or the parents have had to move in with the kids and can't bring their dogs. So we are starting to see more need to take in dogs, but we've also still seen an uptick in the applications to adopt. So
Wow.
I feel like right now it's a balancing act, but right now we're handling it pretty well. And I feel like our biggest problem has been trying to engage every single person that filled out an application. We had, I think, 400 applications to foster and 500 applications to adopt. And we only bring in 25 dogs a week. There's no way that we could make everybody happy.
Right.
And so it's sort of like setting that expectation that you're going to get a dog when you might not was sort of like, how are we going to deal with that? People are going to be really pissed off at us that we can't get them a dog, which has happened, so it has been sort of like, how do we message that and let them know that we're trying, and that, we care, and we want to find you a dog, and vice versa, be able to be there for the people that need us to take their dog too. So it's a little bit of a balancing act, and the communication part of it also still is. We're doing a lot more in the communication outreach than we would have if we were actually open, if our shelter was open. So we literally have meetings Monday through Friday, just the communications team, just to talk about what do we need to change? How are we going to make sure that people know that they should still fill out an application? There might, whatever it is, or what we're doing and how we're doing it, and letting everybody know that we're here for them at the same time.
And are you doing any sort of, I am going to assume, or maybe I should just ask, are you taking any new volunteers at this point?
Right now we're not taking any new volunteers except for foster volunteers. Right. So people that want to foster dogs, we are still open to having new fosters come. Right now we're just trying to communicate with all of our volunteers, which are like family to us.
Right.
I really miss them, but I'm sequestered in my house because I'm the oldest person at Muttville, and they're like, nope, you don't get to come to Muttville. So I don't even get to go. Okay. I get videos. It's killing me.
Okay.
But so we don't really need any volunteers per se. Our vet staff is there full time working with all of our dogs and our foster families and the new dogs that come in. And we have what we have also, which is kind of cool, is we have a team A and team B. So if somebody in team A ends up with COVID and they're all at Muttville, that team A will go on a 2 weeks off quarantine, and we'll bring in the other team. So we're trying not to cross-pollinate.
That's super smart.
Can't close down.
Right.
We owe it to our public to never have that happen. So we've really taken a lot of precautions around not cross-pollinating amongst team members. Team A, team A, team B is team B, and none shall fall in the middle, sort of thing. So that, in case, we've been very lucky. We haven't had any cases, so that's good.
Good.
I think one of the things that we are doing that's going to be really fun is, we've always had this big gala every fall that we call Senior Prom. And of course, we canceled our in-person Senior Prom, and now we're going to be doing a virtual gala. Senior Prom is still going to be called, and our theme this year is Mutts on the Moon. So it's going to be space age.
Yes.
On Zoom. Much of will be like Zoom into the moon. And instead of picking a prom king and queen, we're going to pick an astronaut to go to the moon.
Yes.
The dogs, the dogs are the prom king and queen, but this year the dogs will be vying to be the astronaut that gets chosen to go to the moon.
So cute. When is that going to be?
It's September 26th.
Okay.
And it's Saturday. It's a Saturday night. Tickets are on sale right now on our website. Through up until the day, really. Okay. And they're very affordable. All the money goes to the dogs. It'll be a really fun event. It'll be short and compact with lots and lots of doggy stuff.
Yes. Okay. Well, in addition to the gala, are you doing any other sorts of, are you taking donations or taking of stuff or money like you did in normal times?
Yeah. So we have limited our hard donations, our donations that come to us, to nothing used right now, like no used dog beds, no used towels and things like that. But we are still taking anything that's new or washed and clean, like dog bowls that you can wash that aren't fabric. So we still are taking some donations. And we also, for people that are interested in helping, we have a wish list. It's an Amazon wish list and a regular wish list, which is on our website as well. We live off, small donations. That's pretty much what the dogs get rescued by. That's what we do. So, anybody that feels like they've got the cash to help us and help all the senior dogs out there that need us, please go to our website and you can see how you can do that. There's a lot of different ways you can donate. I think that right now is a wonderful time to have a dog in your life, especially if you know your housing is safe. And I just always say Muttville has the best dogs. We really have the best dogs.
That was Sherri Franklin of Muttville. The next special episode of Storied San Francisco will be a check-in with Caring Cowgirls Liz Beeson. Don't miss that next Monday. Meanwhile, have a wonderful weekend, and please support San Francisco small businesses. Music for Storied San Francisco is by Otis McDonald. Photography is by Michelle Kilfeather. The show is hosted and produced by me. Michelle and I have produced more than 120 episodes over the last 3 years, and you can find them all over at our website, storiedsf.com. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as just about everywhere you can listen to podcasts. Please subscribe to stay up to date on all the content we publish. And if you have any feedback for us, or you just want to say hi, our email is storiedsf@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Stay strong, stay safe, and stay healthy.